a stopgap spending measure to ensure the government stays open through December 7th. Details of the package have not been revealed. Representative Rodney Frelinghuysen, chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations, said the bipartisan package, should Trump sign it, would avoid a battle over a potential shutdown until after the midterm elections. Trump has threatened to force a government shutdown on October 1st if a spending bill does not include the billions of dollars he would need to build his border wall. Politico reported that lawmakers hope the fiscal packages agreed upon Thursday will make it politically impossible for Trump to do so. Representative Rosa DeLauro said the president will have to sign it into law or shut down the government. House and Senate aides told CNN that the White House said Trump plans to sign the package. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Thursday vowed to fight back against federal courts that issue injunctions barring the federal government from implementing regulations nationwide and accused federal judges of engaging in judicial activism. In a speech in Missouri, Sessions revealed he was issuing new litigation guidelines that he said would assist our department attorneys in fighting unconstitutional orders all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Nationwide injunctions have become a favored tool by states and other groups who have staunchly opposed many of the Trump administration's more controversial policy initiatives. They allow a single judge in one federal district to block the implementation of new rules across the entire country. The new guidelines call on DOJ litigators to fight back against cases that involve nationwide injunctions. During the Obama administration, Republican-led state attorneys general and business groups often sought nationwide injunctions, a strategy that has since been more often deployed by Democratic state attorneys general and civil rights groups who seek to block many of President Donald Trump's policies. According to Sessions, courts have issued nationwide injunctions 25 times since Trump took office. Sessions said in a statement, "This trend must stop. We have a government to run. The Constitution does not grant a single district judge the power to veto executive branch actions." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The total loser's corpse contained no traces of drugs or alcohol, and a superstitious Delta Airlines adds busty mermaids to its plane noses. My friend, you look like you are in need of the world's finest internet news summaries. Please come in and warm yourself by the fire of knowledge. This is the Onion Week in Review. A new law passed in Colorado this week will allow residents with a doctor's prescription to purchase medicinal fireworks, saying that those in need of stargazers, firecrackers, and Galleria highlights now need only obtain a doctor's prescription. State officials expressed hope that the law would ease the suffering of those in need of huge, dazzling explosions. And in this week's op-ed pages, a man notes that, like it or not, we all die, then get dug up and molested. In other news, white male privilege is squandered on a job at Best Buy, and a local TCBY has missed the past 2 logo changes. Well, that's it for now. Goodbyes are bittersweet, my love, so I'll only tell you, for more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
That's right, it is Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
Free Talk Live, we're live 7 days a week. It doesn't matter what day of the year it is. Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. We're here 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Figure that out wherever you are in the world. And you call us at that time, you can get through.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Do the math. It's
and
easy.
Usually the wait time is not bad at all here on Free Talk Live.
Oh, yeah.
We often start the show with people, don't plan ahead. Usually it piles up as time goes by, often by 9:30. It's getting tight, but usually 7 o'clock, not so bad at all.
Right.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And I am glad to see that Bill Clinton can still grab headlines, Chris.
Grabs headlines. He's grabbed other things before, too, I guess.
He's a grabber.
That was my token Bill Clinton joke. Have to throw one in there. But
I've got a good one. I had a.
go ahead.
I raised pigs for some time.
Yes.
And I had a boar named Bill Clinton. It was his job to eat and hump. Remember when Bill when he was in office, he was quite the, he was a little pudgier.
He was.
Now he's quite the clothes horse, right?
Right.
Very thin, looks good in a suit, that kind of thing, but not so much when he was in office. He was very affable.
Oh, God. But Bill he's grabbing headlines again, and this time it has to do with gun violence. He is, and this is coming to us from Breitbart, he is calling for an assault weapons ban again.
Okay.
This time, the day after a man kills 5 people with a handgun.
Did he talk about them being related?
He I guess gun violence is gun violence,
Yeah.
and in Bill Clinton's mind, if
We can
anybody
just-
dies,
Yeah,
then
ban assault weapons.
Yeah, we just have to ban things until people are not left with anything that they could do harm to themselves with, I guess.
I was having a conversation today with somebody I'm relatively certain is a bit of a gun grabber herself, and what I find interesting about handguns is handguns. What's the saying? God made man, Sam Colt made him equal.
Right.
That handguns level the playing field.
They do.
A little 95-pound 18-year-old girl can defend herself against Mike Tyson.
Yep.
With a handgun. It's a tool that allows one to defend oneself against the what in the past would have been an undefensible situation.
Exactly.
And that's pretty cool. But it's not. Those generally aren't the people that are possessing the handguns.
Yeah, and this article is going to talk a little bit about it. And it's a short little blurb, but I think we'll just jump into this. Bill Clinton calls for an assault weapons ban the day after a man shoots and kills 5 people in Bakersfield with a handgun. That's important to note here, I think. Clinton did not mention the Bakersfield
often
shootings.
when people, are often the gun grabbers do not get their facts right when it comes to guns, and it kind of shows that maybe you shouldn't be making laws on which how these tools are possessed and who possesses them and that kind of thing. If the only thing is about this weapon is that it's black and plastic and it scares you,
right? And that a bullet comes out the end, and it's frequent. And I can't tell how many times I've seen on social media with some of my liberal friends that there was some shooting. It was a robbery. There was no news out about it at all. But the immediate conclusion was, I bet this was an AR-15. I'll bet this was an assault rifle. It just,
nobody's going to, not nobody. It is going to be rare that somebody uses an AR to rob a liquor store or something,
Yeah, it is it's an impractical tool.
Right.
It certainly is practical for certain things.
It's a practical tool for robbing the liquor store. It is an impractical tool for walking in and walking out of the liquor store, right? Like you want a concealable weapon if you're going in and going out, because I'm reasonably certain that guy with the AR is up to no good, right?
And he's going to start drawing attention as soon as he gets out of his vehicle. Whereas with a handgun, you're not going to know. People don't know that I'm armed pretty much every moment of every day. But I was in 4 or 5 different businesses today. Not a big deal, but I was armed every single time.
Not that big of a deal. Let's go to James calling in from Missouri, listening to KWLA. James, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello, folks. Glad I could get through.
You're through.
Appreciate it. I was trying to reach you guys several days ago about seeing maybe if you have any attorney resources that could work with me in this part of the country to get very low-level felony expunged, or I don't know exactly what's possible, but I need to talk to an attorney, and you can't seem to get to talk to one anymore without a heavy fee.
Well, what I would do is I would just use a search engine where you are and look for people who do, felon expungements or that kind of thing. I mean, expungement Missouri, and see what you came up with. Because I do not have attorneys that we work with all over the country that do this kind of work, and they get so specialized,
Yeah, and we're a liberty oriented talk show, and is there a liberty angle to this? I mean, was it just a straight sort of crime, or was it something that you feel you shouldn't have been charged with a felony or something like that?
Well, I was just kind of shocked because I came back to this part of the country, hearing news that my mother was on her deathbed and to be by her side.
Uh-huh.
Well, she ended up...
what is that?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Something weird happened.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully we're not under attack or something. Go ahead.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so anyway, she came out of the surgery with some kind of major brain damage. So there was some problem, I guess, with the procedure.
Mm-hmm. Sorry to hear that.
And so, yeah, it was one of those compassionate situations where family and attendants just agreed probably best to disconnect her from the machine and let her go without going through the healing process, winding up with brain damage,
right?
What have you. So,
And
that went.
There's a felony involved here,
right?
Yeah, I guess the West Coast state where I have I had a cousin bring me an inheritance from my aunt that was living on the West Coast,
mm-hmm.
and she was apparently a bit of a fan of the occasional green,
Okay.
And
green,
guess,
you said? I see. So okay, marijuana. All right.
yeah, smokable or yeah. So anyway, a county deputy pulled me over on a moped, and I had just come from meeting my cousin.
Wait a second. You were on the moped, or the deputy was on the moped?
I was on a moped.
It'd be so much funnier if he was. All right,
I
go
was
ahead.
just thinking that. Go ahead with your story.
Okay, yeah. So I picked up the purse she was bringing, and it's kind of a ornate, looked like a souvenir from Mexico, probably on a trip she'd made down there or something. But
Okay.
anyway, I was just going to touch base and share a little bit with my cousin as far as conversation and that, and then headed back to the house. And I guess at the time I had
10 seconds, James.
a little bit too long of grass on my lawn, and that was apparently a chargeable offense. But somebody had stolen my mail. I got a message about that in my mailbox, which is a postal mailbox in urban zone. I don't quite understand
James,
how that works.
best of luck with it. Gotta go to the. Gotta go. Thanks.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far in 2018, the Innocence Network has welcomed 32 wrongfully convicted people home from prison for crimes they did not commit and had a record-breaking 850 people unite in Memphis at their annual conference. The movement of freeing the innocent and reforming the criminal justice system is growing and would not be possible without your support. Together as 68 network organizations around the world, they've helped exonerate 513 people who spent a combined total of 7,804 years in prison. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
We've had people call this show in the past and posit that the declaration of a national emergency essentially opens up all of the loopholes that they can utilize that have been built into the Constitution. Because as Lysander Spooner would put it, the Constitution has either been powerless to prevent this big tyrannical government that we have today.
Sure, a government far beyond the scope that our founders ever, even in the wildest dreams imagined.
Or it has authorized the government that we have today.
I can only assume that that's true. I mean, I used
the
to
latter?
be this. I can only assume that it's the Constitution that, in fact, authorizes all of this crap that I thought at one point was unconstitutional. And we are, as I stated, still under a level of martial law that was declared for the Civil War. Everything they're doing is legal, as far as I can tell.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
And Chris.
The number is 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. Looks like Bill Clinton in the news calling for an assault weapon ban the day after somebody shoots up the place with a handgun. Not like an assault weapon ban would have done much good there, but, you know, that's how these things tend to go. The 4th annual Texas Bitcoin Conference is coming up fast. It's October the 27th and the 28th in Austin, Texas. Texas Bitcoin Conference is always a great event for networking, innovation, and entertainment. This year, speakers include Paul Snow of Factom, Bruce Fenton of Ravencoin, Professor John M. Griffin, and more. Go to TexasBitcoinConference.com right now. Get your tickets. TexasBitcoinConference.com. Free Talk Live will be there again. We'd love to see you there at TexasBitcoinConference.com.
Well, that sounds like a great time.
It is a lot of fun.
Probably you guys are going to be really busy, though, talking to everybody and, probably having to man the booth and do the show. And
they also have me managing a room, too.
Probably need some help down there. That's what I'm suggesting. None too subtly.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, it's all about that plane fare.
Yeah, I hear you. But those are always great events.
It's a lot of fun, no doubt. TexasBitcoinConference.com. So, Bill Clinton here calling for an assault weapon ban as though that's going to stop handgun crime, which is far more prevalent, mind you, than assault weapon crime.
Very much so. Bill Clinton tweeted, "This is how we get our news. This is how people announce things anymore."
Right.
Just through Twitter.
It's at least how journalists see it.
Exactly. 24. This is Bill Clinton tweeting, 24 years ago, I signed the federal assault weapons ban into law, along with an other policy, which led to a 33-year low in the murder rate. We've done it before. We should do it again. The article continues. A few things must be noted right now. First, the quote assault weapons ban did not ban assault weapons. Rather, it stripped them of certain cosmetic features, such as flash hiders and collapsible stocks, among other things.
Right. A flash hider is just this bit on the barrel that just hides the flash.
It does. It's not even hiding it from anybody else. It's to keep it from destroying your night vision. It's more for the shooter than for anything that they're shooting at. It has zero effect on the lethality. But it was 100% legal to buy an AR-15 during the, quote, assault weapons, unquote, ban. Second, there has not been any proof the ban reduced crime. The Department of Justice's National Institute of Justice made this clear. As the ban ended in 2004, the Washington Times quoted University of Pennsylvania professor Christopher Coper, author of the NIJ report, saying, quote, "We cannot clearly credit the ban with any of the nation's recent drop in gun violence. And indeed, there has been no discernible reduce in the lethality and injuriousness of gun violence," unquote.
The lowest murder rate that I've got here for the U.S. was 2014. The gun ban, the assault weapons ban, had been lapsed at that point for many years.
True, absolutely.
And so the claim that it had led to a 33-year low or something like that, it's true, it led to it, but that doesn't, there's no the correlation is tenuous at best.
Right, and by saying led to it, I think the only definition you could accept would be it preceded it.
Yeah.
And whether there's
it preceded it.
Right, that's it. And so did World War II.
Right.
So maybe World War II led to this all-time low in violence, and that's the thing. Did you ever read Freakonomics by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, but I always thought it was interesting. I've never really fact-checked this, but the assertion that the drop in crime during the 1990s, they found a correlation or causation. They implied a causation.
Implied a causation, yeah.
From
abortion rates or something.
Yes, versus Roe v. Wade, and when men of a certain age and a certain social standing would have been, released onto the streets, in turn, in actuality, they were aborted as children, and that may have reduced that population enough to have a noticeable impact on crime. I don't know if there's anything to it, but those...
I tend to think that there's a possibility.
Right.
I mean, First off, I recognize that a fetus is a human life.
Right.
I recognize that.
Without it, and that's not the point of me bringing this up.
It's humans that commit murder.
Right.
No one's ever charged a bull with murder. So we're talking about humans here. And if of the people that are unwanted, of the children that are unwanted in the world, it would seem likely that the ones that people choose to abort, most of those are going to be unwanted. And I would think that the percentage of killers out there are probably pretty high of folks that were unwanted. Just a guess.
Right.
I mean, I can see a correlation. Sure.
Yeah. We'll go back to this story. One of the reasons for the predictable failure of, quote, assault weapons bans is that rifles of any kind, and assault weapons specifically, are not weapons of choice for criminals. For example, FBI crime stats show that more than 4 times as many people were stabbed to death in 2016 as were shot with or killed with any kind of rifle. And on May 30th, 2018, Breitbart News reported a Rockefeller Institute of Government study showing the mass shooters chose handguns over assault weapons by a margin of 3-1 during the 50 years spanning 1966 to 2016. So Now we're not even talking about crime. We're talking about a study that actually looks at mass shooting, which most people will associate with the assault weapon.
Sure.
Which is kind of interesting. And let's not forget, the article continues, Clinton's call for an assault weapons ban comes the day after a California man kills 5 people with a handgun.
Sure. And the thing about a handgun is that it's much more concealable. You can get those those long magazines for them.
Sure.
That's and very few people want to ban those. I mean, there's certainly cities that have banned them, but those cities, by the way, are some of the most dangerous places in America.
They're not places you don't want to have a handgun.
Right. And I mean, people have pointed out that most of the dangerous places in America are run by Democrats.
Yeah.
And it's also worth pointing out that people with concealed carry permits are the lowest of people as far as likelihood to commit a crime.
Right.
They're a tenth as likely to commit a crime as a police officer.
Yeah, and I find that statistic just amazing. And not so much that people with concealed weapons permits are likely to be law-abiding citizens and not perform crimes against their fellow man, but it really just tells me how many crimes are committed by policemen. That's what shocked me about the whole
police
thing.
are much less likely to be charged with a crime than sort of your average citizen too, and it just shows how unlikely concealed carry permit holders are to do these sorts of things. I mean, it's these people are not committing crimes.
Yeah.
And now I would say that many of the people who are shot by an assault weapon are likely shot in someone's home.
Right. Or more likely involving drug dealing, black markets, and things like that.
Could be. And of course, there's the mass shooting. There's plenty of assault weapons involved in that. Free Talk Live.
Cancer categorizes over 100 diseases. Though we do not diagnose, treat, or cure cancer, GCN team is offering the Clemson University study where there was up to a 95% reduction in cancerous cells when exposed to a plant-derived mineral supplement. If you or a loved one are searching for answers to this horrifying disease, come to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. We'll email you a copy for free. That's 877-878-4203.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. You ain't gonna make it. Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live's live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
Oh, we forgot to mention where Daryl is. People always want to know these things.
Right.
Do you know where Daryl is?
Where's Daryl? Daryl's in New York, or in D.C., right?
I don't know. Is he running a sub-marathon?
I think so.
That's mostly what he's been traveling for. Is he just wants to run marathons these days?
He's a running fool.
He's putting in a lot of miles per week.
Yes, he is.
Just amazing. And the physical change in him, dramatic. This guy was obese.
Yes.
And now he weighs less than I do. I'm 200 pounds. People would say it sits relatively well in my frame.
Right.
But those people are kind. I
appreciate that when people say things like that.
It's nice of them.
Right.
But he is svelte. He's lost a lot of weight. It's amazing.
Yes, he has.
He's going to be running in the New York Marathon here in the relatively near future. You can go support him at run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com. Another project that we have here at Free Talk Live is cryptotip.org. Cryptotip.org is a printable tip that you can leave on a table before a server. We recommend tipping in cash. Also, give them a good tip in cash, then leave this as an additional tip. And I believe it's a great outreach tool. You can choose the amount of the tips that you want to print. You can get an email notification when they're redeemed. You can make notes on your tips, like to who you left them and who you left them with and where and all that. In the admin page, unredeemed tips. I think this is the best part. Unredeemed tips expire and return back to you. So you're not just printing up a paper wallet, which anyone could do, and giving it away and hoping that the person cashes it in. If they don't, that's fine. You get your money back, and you can send it on to somebody else. Create tips for no additional fee, or donate to the site's development. Now with Dash and Bitcoin Cash. Cryptotip.org. It's a great project, and I'm really glad that Ian took that into hand and developed it.
You bet. Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about Gleck?
Gleck?
Kleck. I'm sorry. His name is Gary Kleck.
Gary Kleck.
And we've been talking guns, but just a little bit of background here. Kleck was a researcher. I'm just going to read this story because it makes more sense that way. In April, we wrote about, and this is coming to us from the Daily Caller, we wrote about the unpublished Center of Disease Control survey from 1996 to 1998 that evidently confirmed the findings of Gary Kleck, Ph.D., and Mark Gertz, Ph.D., from 1992, that there were likely about 2.4 million civil defensive gun uses, DGUs, each year in the United States.
2.4 million civilian defensive gun usage. Okay.
Exactly. In other words,
usage incidents.
The question is how often does a good guy with a gun stop a crime?
Stop a crime. Because if a crime is stopped, it is unlikely to be reported.
Right.
So if somebody's coming up to you in a weird way, you lift your shirt, show them that you've got a weapon, that person turns around and walks off.
Right.
No crime has been committed, no crime is going to be reported, and if you aren't harmed and nothing's even if a person says, "Give me your wallet," you say, "I'd like to give you this handgun," and the person's like, "Never mind, I was just kidding."
Right, just joking.
I can't believe you pulled a gun on me. I was just kidding.
Right,
and they wander off. You're not gonna go to a cop on that.
Right.
How are you gonna benefit by going to a cop?
It's certainly going to lead to an underreporting of incidences. So there may be cases. I can imagine a case where, some guy, flew up to me with a knife and, it was in front of a bunch of people and maybe somebody else called the police or maybe I did because the guy ran off and I thought he might be a danger to others. You can see situations like that, but it seems to me like it's always going to lead minimally to underreporting of crimes.
Yes.
Yeah. But this is what
I also wonder to myself, if a person, if somebody wants to do something bad and they get a gun pulled on them or shown to them or something like that, does it stop them for the rest of their lives too?
Right.
I mean, like you've just had a near-death experience, pal.
Right.
And some people are going to say, this whole life of crime thing, it's not for me. Now, I don't know what the percentage is.
Right.
The percentage of recidivism from convicted felons from adult prisons is quite high.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you from juvenile, youthful offender prisons. So those are the young guys, but not the juveniles.
Right.
That's much lower.
Interesting.
Youthful offenders are always first-time conviction, and they're always much lower, and those people much more likely to just, move on.
Right.
If a person hits their 27th birthday and they're still committing crimes, that person's a criminal, you know?
But if a person, the die is cast.
Yeah, it's not unlikely that a young male commits a felony at some point in their life.
Right.
So, incarceration sometimes will stop them from doing those things. Sometimes they just stop on their own, and maybe being shown a gun and thinking, oh, I could be dead, might be a thing that would change their mind.
Yeah, and I think anybody put into that position where you're faced with something that will kill you, something that you are looking death in the eye, that's got to be a wake-up call, at least for some people. So again, Dr. Kleck discovered that
there's very few heroes that have guns pointing at them.
Right.
And it's not a good idea to, if somebody points a gun at you, do what they say. It's my best advice.
Right. Dr. Kleck discovered that CDC data last fall and extrapolating it to compare the data from 13 states to his own national survey concluded that the results fell within about 2.5% of each other. It may be worth reviewing our April piece, and this again is the Daily Caller, to understand the background for Kleck's reanalysis. Kleck and Gertz's original survey done in 1995 is called the National Self-Defense Survey. The CDC's work was contained in annual...
This was CDC...
Yeah, okay. Centers for Disease Control task.
Studied this.
Right.
All right.
The CDC's work was contained in its annual Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System survey. That's a mouthful.
Well, it's the government.
Thanks, government. Robert Verbruggen of National Review reasonably criticized Kleck's conclusion on the basis that the 13 states sampled over 3 years by the CDC in the BRFSS may not be directly comparable to the national sample in the NSDS. See the updated introduction to Reason's April 20th article.
So what are these acronyms standing for? I'm sorry.
CDC, Centers for Disease Control, BRFSS is their CDC's Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System survey.
So the CDC survey.
Yes. I need to just start skipping all these and just say the study. And let me refine my place. Kleck withdrew his original paper in order to go over the data further. He's now published his own update, which can be found here online at Daily Caller. and a link to the full paper. Reason has also published its discussion of Kleck's, quote, second look. Kleck revised his conclusion about the study to be that it substantiates in itself an average of 1.1 million defensive gun uses annually during the 3 years it asked about them. It's clear with the surveys from these few states, none sampled in all 3 years, that there could be substantial variations in their ability to represent the nation as a whole. There could be a substantial difference that should be queried in a year, particularly high or low in defensive gun use.
When you're talking about 1.3 million incidences over, is this in just a few states?
Right, in the 13 states that
13
Kleck
states
originally looked at.
Imagine trying to collect that level of data over 50 states.
Right. And
so it would be a lot more incidences, but there's millions of incidences per year of people using guns defensively that are unreported.
Yeah, and certainly underreported. And that was the challenge Kleck had with amassing this data in the first place, and why it's been difficult for everybody to try to put together these numbers.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I don't know. Is this a solution for places like New York and Chicago that have high crime? See, it doesn't seem like it. I don't know. Free Talk Live. What do you think? Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
Talking about a study here that I guess the original study was done in the mid-'90s.
Yes.
Through the Center for Disease Control, and this study has been updated, and the updates continue to stay things, the same similar stuff, which is basically there are millions per year defensive gun usage incidents that don't result in many cases, that result in underreporting of crime, unreported crime, things like that. So, if somebody's looks like they're gonna do something bad or whatever, a gun gets shown or pulled or brandished or whatever the situation is, and that no crime occurs, well, no crime occurred.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting where they go. They asked the question, and this is from the 1992 earliest survey. If they believe someone, quote, might have or probably would have or, quote, almost certainly would have been killed otherwise if the gun had not been drawn. And they say that even at 1.1 million defensive gun uses, nearly half may have saved a life. And we ought to say that, at least conservatively, that at least 16% almost certainly saved a life. Now, when you compare that to approximately 100,000 people shot each year, then you're looking at more people being saved by defensive gun use than actually died at the hands of gun violence. So, it's interesting that, again, this study just never made it really out of government. They saw the results, and for whatever reason, it just the Clinton administration chose not to release.
I tend to think that you wouldn't see this out of very many Republicans either. The government doesn't like you using guns.
Right.
They like them using guns. But,
absolutely.
Really, the best evidence out there is that a civil society isn't created by law enforcement.
Right.
It's created by armed civilians. And I've heard many law enforcers tell me things like that their job is to come and clean up.
Right.
After the crime has been committed, they're there to come and clean up. Your job is to prevent it. You, the individual.
Yeah. And there's no doubt, at least in my mind, that civilian gun ownership in and of itself in rural areas leads to reduced crime. I've lived in some rural areas, and I've lived in some medium populated
areas. I live in a rural
areas.
area now.
I certainly do too, and people just in general know that their neighbors are likely to be armed, and it's not a big deal. But what it does say is, at your own peril, if you decide on a life of crime, and if you're going to go knock in somebody's door in the middle of the night, you don't know what's going to be looking back at you.
Right. So a good friend of mine is, he doesn't like guns. And I get it. You don't like guns.
Right.
Don't get one. But don't impress your rules, your personal rules on the rest of us. He lives in an area where gun ownership is likely very, very, very high.
Right.
And there is very little crime where he lives. So, I've pointed out to him on multiple occasions, whenever he gets on one of his, tirades, and he doesn't have an answer for it. It's like, I don't have an answer for you. Like, yes, I benefit from my neighbors having guns.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I'm sure your neighbors are happy to give you that benefit. If you're not a good choice for people to have guns, well, then don't have them. Or, I'm sorry, if you're not a good choice personally to have a gun, then don't have it. Just simply don't have it. But if you're a responsible person and you've got a concealed carry permit and all that stuff, the likelihood is that you're not a criminal. Very, very, very high that you're not a criminal.
Right. And to those types of people, and I've said this before, I mean, then please put your money where your mouth is. Go out today and buy a nice sign for your front yard that says, "This is proudly a gun-free home." Put it right out there alongside the street.
Yeah, it seems like a really unwise move.
It does, but seriously, if you believe it that strongly, then why aren't you doing that? Why, if you're telling everyone else that they should not have guns in their home, then you should lead by example. Brag about it.
There you go.
Good luck.
Let's go to Bad Slave calling in from New Hampshire. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Bad Slave, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Listen, I just want to add to the conversation here. And I'm very, very happy you guys are talking about this, because this is the critical concern right here and now about, whether people are better off on their own with their own self-defense or not. I mean, and I'm saying that the evidence that shows up here, and I think that, as you've already mentioned, I must repeat that it's likely a lot higher number,
right,
than exactly what's been shown. Because you're right, people don't like to call the cops. Calling, I don't know if you've seen the commercials for USCCA or something, where they're advertising insurance for gun owners who, specifically end up in some trouble because they carried a gun.
Concealed carry insurance is a fairly popular thing.
There you go, and and there's a reason for that. And it has nothing to do with the cops doing reasonable stuff, and making good choices.
I can understand why an insurance company would be happy to give concealed carry insurance, because to me, what that says is that you're giving a bunch of people who have shown their worth, their insurability in this situation, and all they're really looking for is to not have to pay huge legal bills if they actually have to use the weapon.
That's it. And that's it. And I've at various points in my life, I've carried the insurance. I won't say it's inexpensive, but to make it worthwhile, you do want to have a fairly sizable policy. But it's really for those the 1 in a million chance, and believe me, that's what I believe my civilian use of a gun likely is. And I would rather have it and not have to worry about it. But the likelihood that I will go through my entire life and never have to pull my gun in anger or in defense is really, really likely. That's just how it works.
So you never have?
Never have.
Okay, good.
Never have. Not once.
Bad Slave?
So I know some people that have used their handguns and multiple times, and walked away, and there was no, police consequence.
Right.
So that was good. And I also, the progressives out there that are lusting to take our guns away, and they, they can say all they want that they don't want the guns taken away, but they're lying. Number two, they'll say they don't want them taken away, but we want to restrict. We want to, but the minute that you register guns is the minute that the authorities can start to collect them.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want registration. You don't want, you don't want interference. That's what the Second Amendment is talking about. The establishment of a free society requires that people be armed. And this is what we're talking about. And the other thing is that they're actually lying, or they're completely ignorant when they say that the only use for a gun is to kill someone. The vast majority of uses of guns, of actual uses, is what we're talking about.
Right, and that's what Collect shows, and that's why it's good, and it's still relevant. And and as far as registration goes, if you are foolish enough, or through circumstance, you have no other alternative but to let the government know that you have a gun, knowing that the likelihood that some hardcore progressives are going to come into power at some point and they're going to try to take it, then you need to look at companies like Defense Distributed that are putting plans on how to make your own. This is a legal process. You can make your own legal, unserialized gun at home. I appreciate the call, man.
855-450-3733. I'd appreciate your thoughts on gun ownership. 855-450, free as in freedom. Free Talk Live.
Aging is one thing that affects everyone. George has talked about the power of stem cells for years. Now, there's a new serum that harnesses that stem cell power to bring back your youthful look. Beverly Hills doctor Nathan Newman.
Stem cells are basically our fountain of youth. This is what maintains our body's reparative, regenerative abilities. As we age, every cell breaks down and needs to be replaced, and what replaces it is the stem cell.
Dr. Newman and Janess have developed Lumin-S. Lumin-S takes the science of stem cells, using the same growth factor complex that literally heals our cells, slowing the appearance of the aging process. Apply Lumin-S twice daily, and on average, see results in a week. Learn more, watch our video, and order today at a special Coast website, healthylooking.com. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's healthylooking.com. Lumin-S, for a healthier, much younger, better-looking you. Buy now at healthylooking.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, September 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.20 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,203 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,460. Antiwar.com reports Turkish officials announced Wednesday that they sent hundreds of additional special forces, along with tanks, armored vehicles, and other equipment, across the border into Syria's Idlib province. They are intended to reinforce Turkish military posted in northern Syria. Turkish officials say that the intention is to deter the Syrian military from launching an offensive against the Idlib province, which is under control of various rebel factions, the largest of which is al-Qaeda's Nusra Front. Turkey is aligned with some of these fighters in supporting regime change in Syria. Syria. In addition to boosting their direct military presence in Idlib, Turkey has also sent a large amount of additional weapons and ammunition for rebels to use. Rebel sources say they have been told Turkey will provide military support for a long, protracted battle. Idlib and neighboring areas are the last major rebel enclaves inside Syria. For Syria to recover the territory would effectively end the war, though doing so is likely to take a major offensive. Syrian and Russian planes have been conducting airstrikes along the outskirts, trying to soften up defenses before a ground invasion. There is no timetable for such an invasion. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports lawmakers in the U.S. House and Senate say they agreed Thursday on a bipartisan fiscal package that seeks to avert President Donald Trump's promise to shut down the government in an effort to get funding for his proposed border wall. The spending bills would fund some two-thirds of the government, including the Pentagon and the Health and Human Services Department. The package also includes a stopgap spending measure to ensure the government stays open through December 7th. Details of the package have not been revealed. Representative Rodney Frelinghuysen, chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations, said the bipartisan package, should Trump sign it, would avoid a battle over a potential shutdown until after the midterm elections. Trump has threatened to force a government shutdown on October 1st if a spending bill does not include the billions of dollars he would need to build his border wall. Politico reported that lawmakers hope the fiscal packages agreed upon Thursday will make it politically impossible for Trump to do so. Representative Rosa DeLauro said the president will have to sign it into law or shut down the government. House and Senate aides told CNN that the White House said Trump plans to sign the package. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Thursday vowed to fight back against federal courts that issue injunctions barring the federal government from implementing regulations nationwide and accused federal judges of engaging in judicial activism. In a speech in Missouri, Sessions revealed he was issuing new litigation guidelines that he said would assist our department attorneys in fighting unconstitutional orders all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Nationwide injunctions have become a favored tool by states and other groups who have staunchly opposed many of the Trump administration's more controversial policy initiatives. They allow a single judge in one federal district to block the implementation of new rules across the entire country. The new guidelines call on DOJ litigators to fight back against cases that involve nationwide injunctions. During the Obama administration, Republican-led state attorneys general and business groups often sought nationwide injunctions, a strategy that has since been more often deployed by Democratic state attorneys general and civil rights groups who seek to block many of President Donald Trump's policies. According to Sessions, courts have issued nationwide injunctions 25 times since Trump took office. Sessions said in a statement, "This trend must stop. We have a government to run. The Constitution does not grant a single district judge the power to veto executive branch actions." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Bewildered paralegal Caitlin Levy says that after returning home from work today, it occurred to her that oddly at no point during her day was she harassed, leered at, or made to feel humiliated or physically threatened.
It's weird. Looking back on it, I suddenly realized that not one strange man made a creepy comment at me or an obscene gesture or a sleazy look for like the whole day. How can that be?
The 29-year-old told reporters that even at points in her day when she is traditionally almost certain to be made uncomfortable by at least one or two leering male strangers, not a single such instance occurred.
I actually got to walk from the train to my office and never once catch some weirdo smiling at me or looking me up and down or slowing down his car to yell some shit out the window at me. I felt weirdly safe or something.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on this live Sunday edition, if it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, wherever you are. And Free Talk Live is broadcast recorded on many stations. Mm-hmm. Many of our 190 radio stations choose to air us at different times. We try to make life easy on the program directors of these radio stations and let them do what they want to do. We do love to get your calls, and the number's 855-450-3733. We also have at discord.freetalklive.com, we have the Discord app. If you go there, you download it on your phone, or you can use your laptop too. You can call in and sound really great. If you are going to use your laptop, use headphones. Makes it sound better, and usually an additional mic really spruces things up. Discord.freetalklive.com. So, I got an article here from the Huffington Post, a bastion of conservative tripe. Decades of increased state spending on public education yield scant results.
No. But we spent so much money.
Yes.
If public education were so bad, it wouldn't cost so much.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the newest of articles out there, but I love to bring these up because I really like I like to use Huffington Post because people don't argue with it.
Right.
The people who want to see government schools get more money and you forced to pay for the worst school in a given geographic area are generally not going to argue with the Huffington Post. The Huffington Post says, and this is studies that this quoted, but
that's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Right.
20% of public school graduates are functionally illiterate. That's not the people that went to government school and said, "This sucks, I'm leaving."
Right.
And I don't know, maybe they can read better than the people who actually graduate. I don't know.
Gooder.
Read
gooder.
Well, I mean, I can say this undeniably and unequivocally. Government school students are far overrepresented in U.S. prisons. If the government can get your kid for up to 13 years, in many cases they go to prison before that, but for, most of their adult life,
right,
they have them, and they still can't keep them out of their prisons, they're bad at this or they're good at it. You've got to decide which.
Right.
I think they're good at it, personally. I think that these things are designed to make you a factory worker or a convict.
Yeah, and if you go back to the early progressive era, you look at some of the things that, Woodrow Wilson said, we do not want the sharpest, brightest minds. We want people that can follow instructions and be the proletariat. Mm-hmm. We don't need them to replace the educated, the lofty amongst us.
Right. We have plenty of those.
Right. But yeah, I agree with you completely. It's sad.
It's like the Working at the Car Wash Blues by Jim Croce says, I told him the fact was that I'm a genius. And he said, we got all we can use. Despite pumping billions of dollars into public schools for more than 40 years, the most recent data shows a public education system that cannot turn money alone into positive results. Even after a decade of No Child Left Behind initiatives and a recent surge in more than $80 billion in federal stimulus since 2009 intended to lift student performance quickly, there's no significant gain. A study by State Budget Solutions comparing state spending on education, standardized test scores, and graduation rates shows both performance measures prove there is little aggregate cumulative improvement in America's public school system when it comes to teaching our young. The study, Throwing Money at Education Isn't Working, was conducted on data from all 50 states by SBS analysts, that's State Budget Solutions, analyst Kristen DePena, as part of a ongoing state and municipal financial crisis project by Sunshine Review. The conclusions are undeniable. Suggested solutions are difficult but achievable. National Governors Association graduation counts compact on state high school graduation data was only up from 73.4% in 2009, 74.7%, 2011. Worse yet, American college testing scores did not move adequately compared to the financial investment taxpayers are funding. So it doesn't make a difference whether you're talking about high school, middle school, elementary school, college. Throwing money at education is not the solution. It is the solution to the problems the teachers' unions have. That is definitely that solution. Let's get more funding for people who work, 9 months out of the year.
Well, yeah, and it's not just teachers' unions. I mean, teachers' unions have always been the common, sort of scapegoat. It's the teachers' unions. But there's other unions involved in education. There is basically a service union for all the janitors and for everything like that. I know my school district has we have to vote on that ridiculous contract every 2 or 3 years. That happens.
Can't you just get somebody else to clean up the school?
You would think. Or you could just, allow the free market to provide solutions, and it could do that too. The other aspect, and this really goes to the growth in education, is if you compare the growth of the number of teachers versus the number of administrators. And that should shock anybody. When we throw, another few $1 million in a school district, because the teachers are saying, we need more help and stuff like that, they don't get new teachers. They get more administrators. They get more layers of bureaucracy.
Teachers rarely get what they want, even when the funding's there, when it comes to teaching. The paychecks are there in many cases for teachers. And if you want to know what the free market would pay teachers, all you have to do is look at private schools.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah.
There you go. Look, best I can tell, teachers are paid higher wages in government schools, and I would presume that's because working there stinks.
Yeah,
you've got to you're forced to work with kids. You're forced to be not forced to work with kids. You have to work with kids because you're getting this great paycheck that don't want to be there in many cases. And when there's one kid in the classroom that doesn't want to be there, he makes it so that there are more kids in the classroom that don't want to be there.
Right. But what I don't hear, and I have a lot of friends who have homeschooled and have unschooled and done all sorts of alternatives, I don't hear these horror stories. I don't hear the, it's such a nightmare to have to teach my kid all day or to do the couple hours that we have set aside for, math or whatever it happens to be. I don't hear that. And I'm of the belief that the problem is systemic, and the systemic problem has been our reliance on a system of education that was foisted upon us in the progressive era, and that's the Prussian model of education, and it just doesn't get the results. So this is what we get.
It's probably great for some kids,
right?
But the problem is you try to take all these square pegs and pound them in those little round holes,
right?
Or vice versa, whatever it might be. I don't know what the shape of the kid is or the shape of the hole they're pounded into, but you can't. Every kid's going to need something different. And I'll tell you the deep, dark secret of homeschooling. We don't spend the kind of time that your kid spends at school learning.
Right.
There aren't 7 or 8 hours spent homeschooling kids.
Right.
Because you don't need to.
Oh, you must not love your kids.
What do you, first off,
what's your problem? Come on, man.
What's the point in getting your kid to, graduate high school at 11?
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
Right.
So if you just want them to kind of keep up with grade level, because that's a good way for to learn or whatever, then, by the end of 6th grade, what's that, 11 years old, 12 years old, somewhere in there.
Right.
You want them to be able to read and write. You want them to have reasonably good penmanship.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to be able to spell many words.
Some people on the internet want them to spell all the words right.
Well, they're not going to.
I'm one of those people.
They're not going to.
I know.
And you want them to be able to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
Right. That quote I was trying to think was Woodrow Wilson. We want one class of persons to have a liberal education. We want another class of persons, a very much larger class, necessary in every society, to forego the privilege of a liberal education and fit themselves to perform specific, difficult manual tasks.
855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. SaveATPurse.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. We're talking about this study that is being reported here in the Huffington Post. Not a particularly new post, but nonetheless, it's true then, true now, that throwing money at schools doesn't work. That they've got this the study, Throwing Money at Education Isn't Working, conducted on data from all 50 states by State Budget Solutions. Well, I mean, what other information do you need that this just isn't working? That a school system and whether you like it or not, the school system was basically created about 120 years ago, and it wasn't designed for modern students. It's still not. Government is not known for innovation.
Right. Sitting
in classrooms may not be the best way to educate kids. Certainly, it's not the best way to educate all kids at all ages. Maybe in high school it's a good idea, but maybe it's not. And I've got to say, I went to government high school. I went to private school from kindergarten through 8th grade. From 9th grade through 12th grade, I went to government school. 9th through 11th grade, I went to government school, and I went to the bad kid school in 12th grade. And I'll tell you, I don't use any of the information that I learned in high school except for typing class. And that was an elective.
Right.
I mean, typing class was not considered something that, somebody who wishes to move on in life was going to use. I didn't hear a lot of predictions that we're going to all have computers in front of us all day long, every day. No. No one was saying that when I was in high school.
No. The idea was it was a nice skill to have for men.
Yeah.
It was okay for women, and I went to the school in the 70s and the 80s. It was more of a career opportunity.
Yes.
I could type. That was a selling point. That was something women could immediately put on their resume and increase their odds of getting a job.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure it's true now. Everybody's got to have at least some ability to type.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for Mrs. Bird, who taught me, the quick brown fox and all that good stuff. The number is 855-450-3733. I want to tell you about Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping to build it there at Liberty.menu. It's a tool for your community, and it's at its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network aspect too, where you can connect with other people and share and that kind of thing. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL. You get a special badge because it's free. We couldn't give you 10% off. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 100% off of free. It's free, but if you go there, use coupon code FTL, you get a special a badge, and there you go. You're in business. Liberty.menu. Let's go to Jerry calling in from Oregon. Jerry, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how's it going?
All's well. What's on your mind?
I was calling about the educational thing. I work in construction here in Oregon, and when I was going to high school, they actually took out the wood shop and metal shop class during my sophomore year.
Wow.
And so now and I graduated in 2006, and now it's actually hard to find people that can actually read a tape measure.
Yeah. It's interesting that some of those basic skills are things that, and I'm a big fan of vocational education too. If you have a aptitude or an interest, that's keys to happiness and to doing well in your work.
You'd think that in math class they would just hand out a big a 5-gallon bucket of tape measures and say, "Okay, we're going to learn this because I haven't used differential equations yet." I haven't used algebra 2, frankly, geometry. I haven't used proofs, postulates, any of this stuff, but I use a tape measure on the regular. And you're right. I'm having to teach my son. Well, obviously, where would he get this information if it's not from me? But I'm going to teach him how to use this thing.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's a simple tool, and it's really hard to find a good helper right now, and business is booming because
Right.
Well, you're hearing them complain about not getting $15 an hour at McDonald's, though. Right? I mean,
yeah.
Hey.
If you don't even have those basic skills, are you going to even be able to do any work on your home when you get that $15 an hour raise?
Yeah, and it's a shame because in those jobs, I mean, maybe what are we? We're 10 years into a recession, which they continue to try to convince us ended. But wages, we just did a story on this. Wages finally reached 2008 levels, measured in 2018 dollars, which are 21%, have the purchasing power 21% lower than they did in 2008. So we basically really dropped in wages and things like that. But you still have this serious need for craftsmen and for people that can do these basic things. And I just, again, not to beat a dead horse, but this idea of, using the factory as the model for education, which is what the Prussian systems really did. That's what they saw efficiency, and that's all they were going for. How can we get the most people in here? How can we educate them all at the same speed and then push them out the other end, just like a big assembly line? It just doesn't work. And, it didn't take me that long to figure out how badly it works. But at some point, when do people start to wake up to this and go, we're just throwing our money away?
Yeah, I'm with you guys because everything that I learned from high school or middle school, I don't really use in the real world.
Yeah. Right. I feel the same way. Thanks for the call, Jerry. Appreciate it. I look at, I've got to call people out to my house like everybody. Right. And I you look at these HVAC guys, that's heating, whatever, AC, I don't know, ventilation and air conditioning. Right. That's what HVAC, I guess, stands for. You look at these HVAC guys, plumbers, right. Electricians, people who come to your house and do something, they never leave with less than $200 in their hands.
Nope.
Never.
Never.
And I mean, it's a pretty darn good career when you're looking at, first you basically walk into one of these places and say, hey, I'm tired of working at McDonald's.
Right.
I will show up on time. I will have my hair combed and I will have my teeth brushed. And at that point, you're going, my guess is you're going to get a job. Now, I've never worked at one of these places.
Right.
I did some roofing work at one point, but, it's a completely different situation. And I mean, it's a real career for kids.
Right.
Young people. The number is 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Better than being saddled with a communications degree.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agris Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agrishosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agrishosting.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live's Live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
And Chris.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Or you can use the Discord chat, discord.freetalklive.com. Hundreds of people in there chatting, by the way. Well, not at this moment, but there are hundreds of people in the Discord chat. And at any time, any of them can be talking. They're often busy doing something in there.
There's about a dozen people right now listening to the show, chatting in Discord, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's discord.freetalklive.com. Talking about this study here from the Huffington Post that says that, well, increased spending on government education yields scant results. And we, of course, have been saying this for a long time on Free Talk Live. It's just not gonna make a difference. But I do wonder. The one caller called in about shop class being gotten rid of, budget cuts and all this. Well, it may be that was the most important thing they were teaching at the school.
Right.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about saveatpurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash to fund your account. You can save between 5 and 33% on things you're going to buy anyway through Amazon when you shop using saveatpurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. Saveatpurse.com. Saveatpurse.com. This is awesome. The trick is you got to use cryptocurrency, but it's worth it because you're saving money. Saveatpurse.com. Go to Linda calling in from Colorado. Linda, you're on Free Talk Live.
How are you doing?
All's well. What's on your mind?
Good.
Good. Well, I just was wanting to agree with the gentleman that called earlier that the VOTEC schools are definitely important because the jobs that they train for will definitely give the kids and adults that want to redo their life,
right,
get a better job. including women in welding and whatnot, because they need them for scuba divers. They need them for working on bridges and steel work, whether it's welding or wood shop or anything.
Yeah, this isn't a sexist thing. This isn't a sexist thing either. I mean, there's no reason why women can't do jobs like welding or carpentry or plumbing or any of these things. The issue is the other jobs, the jobs that one would expect in a robust economy just aren't there. We don't make much in this country anymore. So
actually, the country's manufacturing more than it ever has. It just has fewer manufacturing jobs because it's being done by robots.
You think? I'd like to research that a little bit. Go ahead.
That's what my understanding is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, most of it is because it's gone that direction. And with President Obama, he was pushing going to college, get a college degree. Well, you're forking out
many tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
Yeah. And then not being able to find a job in that field because it doesn't exist anymore by the time you're done.
Well, in many cases,
pay the bill.
Right. In many cases, you're talking about kids who are just going to 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th grade.
Right.
They're just leaving high school. They don't have any clue what they should be doing. They haven't been out there in the world at all. I wasn't ready for college going out of high school. I just wasn't because I had no clue what I should be doing. I was just going to...
I knew what I do.
Pushing electronics and doing computer work and stuff, which is great for those that are adapt to it. But there's kids that enjoy working with their hands and just building things, whether it's metal or wood or doing drawings.
Just fixing stuff too.
They've got everything. They've switched everything out from being manual drawings and board work to computer. The first major EMP hits, all those computers are going to go down, and nobody's going to know how to do any darn drawings.
Right. So you got a whole lot of people that know how to use AutoCAD, and nobody knows how to use a mechanical pencil.
I've heard that even the sunspot activity can, if it gets bad enough, can fry electronics.
It could.
Well, we had some major sunspot activity this last week, which shut a couple of the observatories down. They've been shutting, I think, half a dozen down. Were shut down completely.
It'll be interesting. I've followed that stuff kind of off and on, not to segue from jobs and Votech to sunspots, but I think we're about to hit another minimum, aren't we?
What's a minimum?
So the solar cycle runs about 11 years, and it has minimums and maximums. It ebbs and flows. It follows the same cycle, and it has for hundreds of years.
Okay.
And when it hits a minimum, then we have less solar activity, and temperatures tend to cool off around the world. When we have solar maximums, then we have the maximum number of sunspots that we see, higher levels of solar activity, and then the temperature seems to go up. Somehow, Al Gore figures this all has something to do with global warming. No, I'm kidding. Al Gore doesn't acknowledge that the sun affects it at all. Right.
Well, you'd think it would.
Well, he helped push dumping classes as well on the kids.
And he invented the internet. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and can't even do math to give you correct change at McDonald's.
Right.
Thanks for the call, Linda. Appreciate
it. Thank you.
855-450-3733. I mean, when I do math with my son. We work on this stuff. And I do wonder, now he's great with it when it comes to giving change. I've shown him the little tricks. I ran a register for a long time.
Right.
And, it's a fine skill to have. But I kind of wonder... Well, Miss Seacard, my trigonometry teacher, lied to me when she said you're not going to be carrying. It's not like you're going to be carrying a calculator around in your pocket. Well, it turns out I am.
Yeah,
I'm carrying
a whole heck of a lot more than that.
The most powerful computer she'd ever seen at the time, multiplied times 100 around in my pocket, and so yes, I kind of. I basically feel like you need to know how to do multiplication, division, long division.
Right.
You need to know how to do those things. You need to know how to add up, long addition and long subtraction. But that you basically need to know your times tables by 12s.
Sure.
To a gross.
It's a good skill to have.
And then you need to know how to use a calculator after that. You know how to do the problems. Because it's rare that you're going to be sitting down, putting the brackets for a division and doing the division out when you've just got a calculator sitting right in your pocket.
I get that, but I also recognize, and this is where I look back at my math teachers and go, okay, you were right in some of this. So problems, I operate a retail shop. Some of the things that we have to do are to calculate the increase over a cost to get a selling price. How do you mark something up? And I
told you just keystone it.
Exactly.
Double it.
Double it. That's easy.
I've heard that. I don't know.
But oftentimes, it's little things like that make me sit there and go, okay, I have to look at this somewhat algebraically to try to figure out if I know X, what do I need to do with Y and Z? Do I need to multiply? Do I need to divide that? And so on and so on. So I do believe that there is a role for some of that stuff.
I think you need to know how to think algebraically.
Yes.
I'm not arguing
that may be a better way of putting it.
Simple algebra
right.
For people, and they're teaching algebra to kids at grade school level.
Right.
Right now my son's doing algebra. He doesn't know it.
Right.
If it's 5 plus blank is equal to 11. Solve for blank. Solving for blank is the same as solving for X.
Right.
This is still algebra.
Right.
And at some point or another, then they're going to turn that 11 on one side to 7 and 4.
Right.
Or whatever it is, and then you've got whatever you've got going on there.
See, this is old school me thinking back to algebra class in a classroom, and you actually just saying, here's the problem. But again, your son is still thinking algebraically, and I think that's the important skill.
Yeah, to think algebraically, not necessarily to have to do the algebra.
Right.
The number 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here, talking about the funding of government education. Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live's live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
And Chris.
The number's 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about the AMP program. The AMP program is a program where you can help us to create a world where people at least understand what the non-aggression principle is. I want everyone in America to know that libertarianism means that you do not use force or fraud to achieve your goals, whatever that means. It's a moral position. And if you want people to understand that moral position, then you need to support the things that teach that moral position. And Free Talk Live does that. And I want to thank Kingston Smith for his gold amplifier status for going on here for quite some time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hear, hear.
Really appreciate that. Kingston Smith and your support, and we could be thanking you too. Just go to amp.freetalklive.com. That's AMP, amp.freetalklive.com. We use the money to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. Don't use it for anything else. So help us to increase our marketing budget so we can reach more people. amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Ron calling in from Kansas. Ron, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, guys, say enjoy your program or whatever, Nat.
Appreciate
I want to agree with you in that I think too much money is going to the old higher superintendents and that type of people that are employed in school. But I do feel like the teachers, I've got a daughter-in-law that she almost lives there. That's her, vocation or whatever, Nat. And I would like to see her, get more of the money that's coming in. One thing that really I think where America has gone wrong is, Nat, and that's when they kick God out of school. They're trying to get away from him even being, saying the Pledge of Allegiance, with God in that or whatever.
Right.
Well,
so
we don't have respect for elders or other people.
I went to a Christian school for years, and I mean, I think that you should be able to, you and your children should be able to keep their money that they spend in property taxes to send other people to schools that don't teach the stuff that you want taught, because, well, I mean, they do have schools that teach what you're looking for. The problem is you just have to pay extra. And why not use the money that you're already paying to send your kids to these things? And I think that's what everybody should be able to keep their money and use the school that they want to use.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, I'm 66 years old, so I'm working with grandkids or whatever now.
Well, right. I'm sure you'd help with your grandkids' education if you had to.
Yeah, and
I have the money, yeah.
Yeah. And
if they just, I think God had a good message for us, and had to respect other people, and they're just, that has kind of gone by the wayside, I'm afraid.
Right. I get
Ron.
and I get where you're coming from, because I grew up in that era, when school prayer wasn't, people sometimes just prayed in school and it wasn't a big deal. And we did say, certain things like the, Pledge of Allegiance. We talked about God, and that came up, and there was just never any issue in the 70s and in the 80s.
We rarely said the Pledge of Allegiance at
every day.
The Christian school.
Yeah.
So we certainly prayed several times a day.
Oh yeah.
But if I looked at those kids that went to that school, I'd say some of them are probably good religious folks right now, and plenty of them aren't.
I guess what I would posit is that there has been a removal of any sort of moral anchor. Morality is never really discussed in modern education. Morality we do get from religion, but we also get it from ideas like libertarianism, where we talk about non-aggression, and we talk about, it's basically the golden rule. But if the only anchor in morality you ever had in this Prussian factory system of education was Christianity, and you yanked that out, then you're not doing anything at that level that would imply any sort of morality at all. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. I'm of the opinion that the morality I got from my church, my private school, and my family was lacking. So
Right.
I think that if I had not been taught, don't do bad things because you'll end up in hell,
Right.
and then I come to the conclusion in high school that maybe this whole hell thing isn't really what they're talking about. And remember, Christians don't agree on what hell is or why it's there or any of that stuff.
Whether there is one at all.
Right, or whether there is one at all. When the only reason that you are taught to not do bad things is you might end up in the bad place, then when
Right.
you stop believing in the bad place, then what's your reason for doing good things? If instead you're taught good action results in good things,
right?
Bad action very often results in bad things. That we far too often teach kids that bad action can result in good things, like, movies about bank robberies and letting politicians get away with all kinds of crap, and all these messages that come at kids that bad stuff can result in good things. Well, it's not a surprise some of them are going to try acting bad to see how that works.
Right.
I think what we need to do is get back to, you're going to have the best life possible if you comport yourself in an honest fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You're true to your word, and then people are going to send money and interest in your direction, and
Right.
that's what you want.
Treat others well. And I just like I said, it's something that I feel is missing in society, and I don't know if I have a good solution. We got somebody on the phone.
Yeah, let's go to Big Loaf calling in from North
Nice.
Carolina. Big Loaf, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, gentlemen. So, down here in North Carolina, and I've been watching a lot of weather coverage, as you might imagine, with the hurricane as passe as it may have been as far as these things go.
Right.
But one thing that caught my eye while I was watching it is this guy that's pretending like he's being blown over by the wind.
This is great.
And then the two
I love this.
teenagers-
It's great.
Yeah. Have you all seen this?
Yeah.
We were talking about
it's
it before the show,
It's
too.
a Weather Channel reporter who's out in the weather. Which why they send their reporters out in the weather is beyond me. If the weather's bad and you don't want us out in it, then don't send people out there. But he's out there. He's pretending to lean against the wind. And then, as he's doing this, he's giving his report. Behind him, casually strolls these two people, like nothing's going on.
Right.
So either he's faking it, or the wind is just in one particular area.
It was classic.
And I'll leave it to everybody to be the judge of which of those two it is, right?
Right.
But if I may assume that it is, he was faking it, right? I mean,
that's what my presumption
clear
is.
To me that he was. Yeah, it certainly looked like it, right? And I started looking around, and this isn't that uncommon. There's the morning show, the Today Show report where the ladies in the canoe and people walk past, and then it's actually two of those from two different news stations, and it got me wondering, at what point do people stop watching this garbage, right? I mean, because love or hate Donald Trump, the man's onto something. They are really fake news.
Fake news. I remember the one of it was Anderson Cooper a few years back, where standing in the ditch filled with water,
looking like he's in a flood zone or whatever. You're standing in a ditch. Get out of the ditch. I watched this. So when the hurricane was passing through South Florida last year, I think it was Maria. I'm not sure which one it was. My wife was down there, and once you get into the pattern of watching hurricane news, you're going to keep watching because you want. Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Is it going to break right? Is it going to break left? And that just happens. So I don't know why they do what they do. Just give me the reports.
Right.
Right, but even that, I mean, when you say just give me the report and they make it up, right? And these are just the times they get caught. Presumably, they don't get caught a whole lot more. So it's pretty clear to me that a lot of this shit is.
Whoa, got to let you go, buddy.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I can just dump that.
Yeah. Sometimes our callers get a little excited.
Hitting the dumps there.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a nationally syndicated radio program, and it's true that you'll see some things on the news that aren't always correct, but using the S-bomb as a result, I get it, but we can't have it. The number is 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. Thank goodness for the dump buttons. It's can't say I've never had that same problem before.
I've done it myself.
Yeah, probably the most watched video of Free Talk. Second most watched video of Free Talk Lives is me swearing at Ian because he just pushed my buttons just a little too hard one night. And, it's kind of his job is to push my buttons.
Yeah.
And some people are like, yes, somebody finally told him. Not that,
that was some good video.
Cussing at idiots doesn't make people make idiots not idiots. It doesn't work. The number 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied, but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, September 14th, 2018. Silver's trading at $14.20 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,203 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,460. Antiwar.com reports Turkish officials announced Wednesday that they sent hundreds of additional special forces, along with tanks, armored vehicles, and other equipment, across the border into Syria's Idlib province. They are intended to reinforce Turkish military posts in northern Syria. Turkish officials say that the intention is to deter the Syrian military from launching an offensive against the Idlib province, which is under control of various rebel factions, the largest of which is Al-Qaeda's Nusra Front. Turkey is aligned with some of these fighters in supporting regime change in Syria. In addition to boosting their direct military presence in Idlib, Turkey has also sent a large amount of additional weapons and ammunition for rebels to use. Rebel sources say they have been told Turkey will provide military support for a long, protracted battle. Idlib and neighboring areas are the last major rebel enclaves inside Syria. For Syria to recover the territory would effectively end the war, though doing so is likely to take a major offensive. Syrian and Russian planes have been conducting airstrikes along the outskirts, trying to soften up defenses before a ground invasion. There is no timetable for such an invasion. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports lawmakers in the U.S. House and Senate say they agreed Thursday on a bipartisan fiscal package that seeks to avert President Donald Trump's promise to shut down the government in an effort to get funding for his proposed border wall. The spending bills would fund some two-thirds of the government, including the Pentagon and the Health and Human Services Department. The package also includes a stopgap spending measure to ensure the government stays open through December 7th. Details of the package have not been revealed. Representative Rodney Frelinghuysen, chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations, said the bipartisan package, should Trump sign it, would avoid a battle over a potential shutdown until after the midterm elections. Trump has threatened to force a government shutdown on October 1st if a spending bill does not include the billions of dollars he would need to build his border wall. Politico reported that lawmakers hope the fiscal packages agreed upon Thursday will make it politically impossible for Trump to do so. Representative Rosa DeLauro said the president will have to sign it into law or shut down the government. House and Senate aides told CNN that the White House said Trump plans to sign the package. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Thursday vowed to fight back against federal courts that issue injunctions barring the federal government from implementing regulations nationwide and accused federal judges of engaging in judicial activism. In a speech in Missouri, Sessions revealed he was issuing new litigation guidelines that he said would assist our department attorneys in fighting unconstitutional orders all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Nationwide injunctions have become a favored tool by states and other groups who have staunchly opposed many of the Trump administration's more controversial policy initiatives. They allow a single judge in one federal district to block the implementation of new rules across the entire country. The new guidelines call on DOJ litigators to fight back against cases that involve nationwide injunctions. During the Obama administration, Republican-led state attorneys general and business groups often sought nationwide injunctions, a strategy that has since been more often deployed by Democratic state attorneys general and civil rights groups who seek to block many of President Donald Trump's policies. According to Sessions, courts have issued nationwide injunctions 25 times since Trump took office. Sessions said in a statement, "This trend must stop. We have a government to run. The Constitution does not grant a single district judge the power to veto executive branch actions." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hamburglar urges a Senate subcommittee to rubble. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Hamburger advocate and convicted felon Hamburglar denounced a prison system he called rubble as he testified before the Senate subcommittee on penal reform. Hamburglar, convicted in 1998 of breaking and entering a McDonald's hamburger franchise in South Beloit, Wisconsin, and currently serving a sentence of 3 to 5 years, made this impassioned plea before being interrupted by U.S. Senator Bob Smith of Rhode Island.
Certainly there is room for improvement in our prison system, but I would hardly call the current situation rubble.
After delivering his message to the subcommittee, Hamburglar was promptly placed in chains and returned to prison to serve out the remainder of his sentence in solitary confinement. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, the third hour of the live Sunday edition.
Nice.
Yeah. Mark with you.
And Chris.
The number is 855-450-3733. And, you can call into Free Talk Live anytime, between 7p and 10p Eastern Time. And that's 7 days a week. It doesn't really make the least bit of difference, which day you choose. And a lot of times people say, hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about something that you were talking about in the past or whatever. And that's not a problem. Just because it's a new hour doesn't mean that we have one topic and we're going to stick to it. Now, I've got certainly topics that I can stick to.
Sure.
But we're happy to take things from the last hour, which we were talking about spending on public education and homeschooling and, vocational education and these sorts of things, and the importance of jobs where people work with their hands. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about was the notion of loving what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a pretty enviable job. I am a nationally syndicated radio talk show host. Now, I defy anyone to say I didn't earn it. Right? Like we built this show from the ground up. We're now on 190 radio stations across the U.S. This was not handed to me by anybody.
You did build this.
Yes, I did build this.
You did build this.
Now,
okay.
I certainly didn't build the broadcast towers that we're on or anything like that. But Ian and I together, we built this business when we started Free Talk Live on a single station in Sarasota, Florida, and then we bopped it around to a couple of different stations. I was on all of them. I remember when we weren't on a station at all. We were just broadcasting on the internet. I remember all that. But like I was saying, I've got an enviable job, and I love what I do. There's no doubt. But there's plenty of times that I was doing things that I would not have said that I love this work.
Right.
Like I would come in here and do this if there was no pay at all.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, you're getting paid for tonight.
Yeah.
I am not.
This is true.
I'm a business owner, and I get paid because we sell advertising.
Right. And if you don't sell advertising, you don't get paid.
Right.
That's how it works.
You are a co-host, and you come in here probably because you enjoy coming in here and having an opportunity to talk.
That's
but
it.
I give you some money also in order to make it
I call
more
it
palatable.
It's like a stipend.
Yeah.
It helps cover the gas costs and stuff like that. But I did this for a few years when I wasn't getting anything.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything. I came in here because I enjoyed it.
Yes, that much is absolutely true. But I think that in many cases, young people are set up to believe that they should love their work. That this is what we tell them. Love your job and you never work a day in your life. I've heard that.
Right.
But part of loving your job is choosing to love your job.
Right.
We still need people to make the toilets flush. We still need people to make the light switches go on. We still need people, doing everything out there, and much of it is not the most desirable thing to be doing. There's always, in every line of work, there's something that you don't want to do.
Yeah. Dirty Jobs. Watch that show. And think about it. Some people have to go down in sewer lines and scrape them periodically. Some people have to pick up your nasty garbage, and these are jobs. And, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they all love what they do. But I think people overall get satisfaction from doing a job.
Right. I, first off, make it very clear to my son, every line of work is honorable. If you're participating in the marketplace, you're doing work and being compensated for it, it's honorable work. I won't say politician work is necessarily honorable, but even if it's if there's a liberty-minded politician out there, I understand why they have to get money to do what it is that they do, because they're doing undesirable stuff and they could otherwise be doing something else.
Something productive. I'm not going to say they're not productive. That's just my anti-government thing coming out.
When it comes to politicians, they get plenty of accolades. You don't need to give them extra ones. But my son, I try to instill my strong respect that I have for truck drivers and for working people. And when somebody comes to the house to do something, and we just recently got a house, so we've had an extraordinary number of people coming.
Congratulations on no longer being homeless.
Yeah, well, we just got a new house.
Oh, there
had
we
the
go.
other one, and I make him shake this guy's hand, look him in the eye, greet him. Now, for him, he's got a rote sort of greeting that he gives everybody, and I taught him that. Hi, my name is Jack. I'm 10 years old. Because people want to know how old you are when you're, people want to know how old you are all the time.
Right.
But when you're sub 16, I think that it's appropriate just sort of to tell them, because somebody's always got something to say, and that's the first place that they're going to go.
It's a conversation starter.
It's a
if nothing
conversation
else.
starter, if nothing else. And, I teaching a kid to shake hands and look people in the eye, I think is very important. But
yes,
I think in many cases we're telling kids that they should love what they do, and it gives them an unrealistic view of how life is going to be in the future. You can do an undesirable job and love it because you're just the kind of person that you can choose to love your job.
Right.
It's love is to some extent a choice. Grinning, fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah, and because all jobs offer some reward. That reward may just be in pay.
Yeah.
It may be in the
but
fact
if the pay is
you
good enough, you love it.
Well, that's the thing. And I will say that even though the worst career decisions I've ever made have been because of money, when I just, money was the only factor to move from one place to another. That never worked out for me. But even those things, there always comes that tipping point where the remuneration for your efforts make it worthwhile. I've been in jobs like that where, okay, I finally rose to a point where you're paying me this much money. I don't necessarily hate it as much as I used to.
Right.
It makes it more palatable.
Right. And I would agree with you that when I have changed jobs solely for the money, that has not worked.
Right.
That you have to look at the big picture. There was one time that I had worked at a radio station, and the GM there was a mess emotionally, and it probably had something to do with, I don't know, his blazing alcoholism. And
that'll do it.
I left to go do something else, and things were falling apart.
Yeah.
And he didn't know how to put it back together. Well, I'd been telling you that I am your sales manager. I am keeping this stuff going, and cutting my commission time after time isn't really a good idea. Well, he offered me what was at the time pretty good money to come back, and I just didn't believe him.
Right.
I couldn't believe a guy that had these kind of emotional problems and had been cutting my pay and all that stuff. I wasn't going to go back.
Lost credibility.
So, it's not a good idea. And I would like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, about this idea of loving what you do. I kind of feel like this country was built by that my ancestors were people who did jobs that weren't necessarily terribly desirable, but they did them in many cases with a smile on their face because that's what was going to, that was what was going to pay the bills. That was what was going to raise the kids. That was going to make a better life for their children.
Right.
And, that's, there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like we might be doing a disservice to the next generation by stressing this idea of loving what you do.
Right. And I think of farmers a lot when I think about this. I mean, I know a lot of them growing up that it's hard work and, the pay's not always great. You never know, but you got to do it because it's the next generation's ticket.
I stopped being a hobbyist farmer. I know a friend who stopped doing it too. It's because at some point it becomes work.
Right.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
The CEO of Dollar Tree unveils the long-rumored foil baking pan. A new donor liver complains about the difficulty of working with Lou Reed. And a local couple keeps their marriage together for the sake of no one. We'll keep this as quick and painless as possible. This is the Onion Week in Review. A study published this week in the Journal of Financial Economics found that 83% of gamblers quit right before they would have hit the big one. Researchers confirmed that roughly 8 out of 10 gamblers who walked away from slot machines, poker games, horse races, roulette, and other games were consistently just a single stake away from winning it all, and unknowingly gave up a lifetime of fortune by quitting prematurely.
Our study proved that subjects who closed an online poker session, walked away from a slot machine, or even gave up gambling altogether would have won millions of dollars in the next bet. Also, people who walk away after hitting it big are missing out on a chance to make more money. I mean, when you're hot, you're hot.
In other news, an Asian guy has a separate group of Asian friends, and a vain Galapagos tortoise tries to pass for 90.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. It's a live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. You are welcome to call in, talk about whatever you want. We've been, it's just the last segment we were talking about the idea of loving what you do. And is that a good idea to teach kids that, that that's what they need? Because I think many of them believe that they need to find a job that they love what they do. When, in fact, the vast majority of us, at least through our mid-20s, if not through our 30s, up into our 30s, may not be doing what we love, but may be doing what pays the bills. And in some cases, many cases, I think people spend their whole lives doing that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Right. Well, it's a challenge when you now have an older generation that's found themselves now probably more than likely having to work at jobs they don't enjoy, just because of 2008 financial collapse.
Right, a lot of people thought they were going to retire and then couldn't.
Yeah,
or maybe they had to come back out of retirement and doing something they didn't want to do. And I hear it's harder to get hired as you're an older person. I've worked for myself now for, I guess 12 years. So I don't have to worry about that particular aspect of it. But wouldn't be fun.
Right.
I want to tell you about Zen. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized, secure node architecture. That means it's secure, safe, private. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Imagine traveling the web, completely private. Well, Horizon is going to bring privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. That's Horizon. Horizon.global. Of course, Zen is still their currency. Their currency is called Zen. It's good, and I'm, in my opinion, it's good, and I am, the money that I manage is, to some extent, invested in Zen, because I think it is going to be a good place to put a little money, see some appreciation. Let's go to Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, I just want to mention that there's a recent book written about the life on the moon.
There's a recent book written about life on the moon.
Yes, and
whose life on the moon?
It was what it says is that it's full of life, like the Earth is full of life. So we got cities here. We have streets. Well, that's what they have on the moon, and there's a recent book written about it, and it was in the So if I had the money, I would probably order it. I saw it in a catalog. It was a metaphysical catalog,
Right. Metaphysical meaning that it had books about metaphysical topics. The catalog itself was not metaphysical. Like you couldn't just look at it and interpret it.
Well, the book had like things like mysteries, a lot of mysteries of the earth, like giants in America that existed, and there's I got one of those catalogs, and like Jesus and Mary Magdalene were married, they're twin flames.
I believe that one, but
could be.
Yeah.
So what makes what makes you believe that there is still life on the moon? Because scientists have said somewhere around 4 billion years ago there was likely a little bit of life, like microbes and stuff like that.
The moon was a chunk of Earth that was knocked off.
Right.
But you can see the moon from here, and you'd think that you would be able to see some of this life that we're talking about, right, Sarah? You could look at the moon with a telescope.
Telescope, right?
Well, the thing is, the government keeps it a secret. They do have satellite image photos, but it's kept a big secret because they pushed this lunar landing. Well, they pushed this lunar landing. Nobody went to the moon.
Nobody did? Neil Armstrong didn't?
Buzz Aldrin punches people when they say that.
I saw that. I watched it on TV.
Well, that guy, somebody asked him coming out of the restaurant, did you really go to the moon? And he punched the guy out because they have to live in a lie. And there was one astronaut that was going to come out and do a press, public press that it was all just a con, and he got bumped off. He was dead, And the whole point is to make the free world to look more superior, like we had a superior space system. That's the whole point why they had the con.
So they were definitely going to space. They just weren't necessarily landing on the moon?
Well, you know what? They go as what are the satellites? They go out to where they have these satellites, and then they float around. They have
space station
gravity, but that's as far as it goes.
So nobody's ever made it past low Earth orbit.
That's correct, and that's a big con because according to the Vedas, we're not permitted in our earthly bodies to leave the Earth atmosphere.
Hold on, the who? Yeah, I picked up on that.
Vedas.
The Vedas. Who are they? Are they reptilian or something?
No, the Hindu Sanskrit. The holy scriptures that the Hindus have in India.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be living your life based on a bunch of old writings by, leprositic, flea-bitten hermits living in caves.
Well, the thing about it is that if they say that, there's a reason why they say that, because our physical
bodies it's because they're ignorant. They had not. I refuse to believe that the old scrolls have any real bearing on life today or the ability to land on the moon. I get that people might be skeptical of the ability of people that really didn't have much as far as computers going at the time to land on the moon, then take off and return. I tend to believe it myself because, well, I don't see any reason why anyone would have lied about it.
Right.
But the thing about it is that also the Sanskrit also talks about the people living on the moon. It has descriptions of the life on the moon like from thousands of years ago, and they still live on the moon. That's another source. And Emmanuel
Why haven't they come here and chit-chatted with us?
Right.
You think they could set up trade?
Look it. I'm trying to explain to you that our bodies are suited for their own atmosphere. We're not permitted to leave the bodies and go to other planets. I mean, other than the aliens, I don't know. They have special aircraft and they have special. I have no idea how they're allowed to do it, but at this point we're not allowed to do it. It's a big con. They have but they found a bunch of like moon landing pictures and white sand.
Thanks for the call, Sarah. Appreciate it.
It's always fascinating.
You can call in about anything. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to protect your online privacy. It's time to
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me, about my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition. Mark with you.
And Chris.
The number's 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. Want to tell you about my Blink home security system. Obviously, I think everybody has thought about a home security system.
Right.
And probably the things that slow them down are, well, I'd have to learn how to use this. It's going to cost a lot of money. There's setup time, and I'm a lazy bum, right? Like, that's how I feel. But Blink Home Security really addresses all of that. What their entry level package that'll cover the important parts of your house. It's bare bones. I think it's about $150. And that's not much at all. You pay that one time. There's no contracts. There's no monthly fees or anything like that. It's yours. You own it. And you get to see on your phone. I could go right now, my Blink app. I could turn on any of the cameras in my house and look and see what's going on. Now, that's pretty cool. If somebody moves in front of the camera, at the times that I have it set to let me know. I know just last night I was up too late and I set the camera off. So, I know it's working just fine. But, you can set the time for the cameras to be on or whatever. Somebody moves in front of it. You got that video. Comes to your phone in seconds. And it's simple to set up. And, simple. I say 10 minutes tops to set this thing up. It's great.
It's nice.
Yeah. Just go check them out. Please, it's worth the visit. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off with our code. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. Let's go to Rusty calling in from Texas. Rusty, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, howdy, guys. They were speaking about kind of work and jobs earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to inform your listeners, if they ever have a chance to check out Thank You for Smoking. It's a comedy movie. And in there, he says basically everyone works because they have a mortgage. But I thought it was interesting that the character kind of archetype of it was he found his calling, and that's just what he was good at, and that's what he's going to do.
Right.
And that was perceived as honorable by everyone else because that's what he was expert at.
Right.
In regards to kind of the honorable comment he had mentioned, would you consider Christopher Cantwell kind of honorable since he's in the marketplace? Or Louis Farrakhan?
For doing his job? No, I don't know. I don't know that he necessarily believes his what he says. So there's a sort of a dishonest aspect to it, and if he does, so either on one hand he's muckraking, he's taking the lowest common denominator. On the other, he is he believes something that I think is misinformed. I don't believe the stuff that he says.
Right.
For instance, I don't think that you could look at somebody's skin color and determine what their likelihood is as far as their intelligence, because there's more genomic variation between West Africa and East Africa than there is between East Africa and Eastern Europe.
Right.
That that genomic variation means that it's not about skin color doesn't determine these things. Genomic variation determines these things.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's interesting for us because, Chris Cantwell's a national fixture. He's
a phenomenon. Yeah,
he has got followers all over the world. He has some of the worst press that came out of Charlottesville and things like that. And there are those of us who have known him for years. And I guess I like to think that I've seen many faces of Chris Cantwell. And this latest one is just sort of off the walls.
If he says he's going to do something, my experience is he will do it, though. And that,
I don't doubt that.
In of itself is a form of honor.
I would agree with that. I just,
integrity.
At various points, I've known him to look at the old Chris Cantwell would look at the things he's saying and go, and you're absolutely stark raving mad. But then this version of Chris Cantwell is sort of supporting all that. So I just.
What are your thoughts, Rusty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the CNN reporter, I think it was y'all talking about weather earlier and kind of faked the whole hurricane wind.
Right.
I don't know if that's honorable, kind of deceit and fraud.
Yeah, there's deceit.
But I think there was a point that once you use a word, and you just use it broadly, it kind of cheapens its value.
So honorable.
I don't know if that was I don't know if that was a application to someone working in the market. Like honorable would be like someone who cures children's cancer.
Well, I think that a person driving a truck is honorable because they're honestly doing their labor. There's nothing wrong with any particular job as long as you can do any job with honor. I suppose you can do any job with dishonor, and I guess that comes down to curing cancer. You've mentioned children and cancer. Well, why is cancer curing more valuable than delivering styrofoam cups?
Right.
I would say we need styrofoam cups delivered. I don't know if they have styrofoam cups anymore, but we need paper cups delivered. And, that to me is honorable. Some people can cure childhood cancer. Some people can't. I, by the way, give to St. Jude Hospital because in part, not just because I want to see families not have to worry about caring for their kids when they've got cancer, but because people are willing to do more and give more to cure childhood cancer, that means they're going to be able to cure adult cancer too. Right. Once we can cure the cancer in the kids, then you can cure it in adults. That's one of the reasons that I donate there, is because I think that that they have a good marketing arm. I don't think that deceit is acceptable in any particular career, and I would say that it would make anything dishonorable.
Yeah,
and there's probably some other way of doing things that I would find dishonorable too. But if any job I think you do with honor, that's honorable to me. Anything else, Rusty?
One last question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one last question. I followed y'all for a while now, and just to see Christopher Cantwell, kind of the way he's gone and these new ideas that he has that are, pretty out there, man, going off about, Zionists and everything else. Mm-hmm. You ever wonder, like, what happened, man? He was all for liberty, and now it's just he's calling for internet censorship or government to step in and regulate. It's just crazy stuff. Have you ever questioned, been like, where, what was a tipping point?
Well, yeah, Cantwell took Ian and I out to lunch at a local restaurant, and he basically made a pitch, which was, hey guys, my heroes, Opie and Anthony, they do this show, and they've been kicked off of radio stations all over the place by saying things that are just a little too much for the radio managers to handle. You guys should do the same thing because they're really successful.
Right.
We patently rejected that notion. So I think that that's where it all sort of started. Is Cantwell had this idea that he was gonna, that bombast was going to make him money. And then what he found out was he started, in there was a situation on Twitter when he was with Free Talk Live first, where he used the N-word and somebody who was trying to argue with him on Twitter. And his reasoning was that this guy wasn't going to be happy until Cantwell, called him the N-word. Right. That there's nothing he was going to say that was going to make this guy happy. So why not just cut to the chase?
Right. Why prolong it?
That's what the guy wanted, so why not just go ahead and do it? Obviously, I don't think that's a good idea, but I think that ultimately Cantwell found, as he got deeper and deeper into this tripe, this racist tripe, was that he was getting more support from people who felt like they didn't have a voice,
right?
And that he was voicing, he was their voice, and that's how he was getting the funding. Rusty, thanks for the call.
Appreciate it.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Dogosuds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Dogosud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Dogosuds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition, final segment. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
855-450-3733. Might be able to squeeze you in. We'll see. Let's just go right to the phones here. We got Matthew calling in from Louisiana. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live. Thanks for waiting.
Hey, no problem. Fascinating phone calls. Sarah, there's a program at your local library called Loan Shark. They will get your books, and you won't have to pay for them. Learning, finding a job you love versus learning to love the job you're with.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I kind of learned to love the job I'm with, and I'm now kind of the industry expert at my particular trade.
That'll happen if you stick with something long enough, especially something that maybe not terribly glamorous or whatever. By the time you're, middle-aged guy, and guys, I've got news for you. If you're not a middle-aged guy today or older than a middle-aged guy, you're going to be one at some point or another. It happens.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself, a lot of people will find themselves suddenly indispensable. That's happened to me in jobs where it just wasn't a big deal for a while, and then suddenly you realize that you're the only one who can do this aspect.
Right.
And suddenly your value goes up. And does that have something to do with happiness too? I always felt better that I felt like I had my boss over a barrel a little bit.
Yeah, well,
that's probably not a good Christian thought, but it's so true.
It's good to be indispensable.
Well, we have ourselves over a mutual barrel.
Right.
My boss can always decide, the heck with all of this, I'm going fishing.
Yeah.
Which I daily pray that he does not do. By the way, I pray for Christopher Cantwell that he has a change of heart.
Right.
I think that's a fine idea. And Ian, my co-host, spends a lot of time, talking to the guy. He believes that you're going to convince people by being kind to them and, listening. And best I can tell, whenever you hear these stories of racists who have given up their stuff, it usually comes from somebody spending time with them, listening to them, just telling them they're important.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is more true than not. there's a black country music star, and I do not know his name. And his cure for the Klan is just to talk to Klansmen.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
they're like-
videos. I think of that gentleman.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. But I do know I've seen
and you
videos
think
of
about
people
it,
who
and
have...
That's just mainly what they want to know is that, hey, is everything going to be okay?
Right. And, you know, I mean, all you can say is that, you know, bad things are always going to happen. But, you know, we care about you. And I think that's what it comes down to is human connections.
You bet.
Thanks for the call, Matthew.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Ciao.
Appreciate the call. Let's go to Alexander calling in from Oregon. Lots of Oregon callers tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. Alexander, you're on Free Talk Live. Yep.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, doing a radio program. What's up with you?
Awesome. It's great. I'm really glad to hear about you. I actually heard about you. I just want to divert for just 1 second. I might want to talk about Operation Greenway for all of your listeners who might have computers right now if they're wanting to look what that is. It's on WordPress. But I heard about your radio show because I was using F-Droid on the, it's an Android app store. It's all open source. And I was using, what was it? LibreDroid maybe, or
okay.
Something like that. Anyway, I don't want to waste your time. But I heard about your show when I was browsing through internet radio stations. I was looking for libertarianism, and I found you, and you were one of the few libertarianisms. And when I first heard you, I heard the Onion pop on, and I was like, oh, man, this isn't what I want. But it turned out to be really good, so I'm glad to hear that. So thank you very much.
That's just us fooling around. So you're getting the Liberty Radio Network, and Free Talk Live is one of the shows on the Liberty Radio Network. You know, my co-host and I, but mainly my co-host, he wanted to create a place where people could have basically content around the clock. You can only listen to so much Free Talk Live, and there may be people who hate us. They don't want to hear. They don't like the show that we do, but you know, they may love the Call to Freedom or any variety of other programs at lrn.fm. And I personally, when I'm in the car for a long drive and I don't have the family or anything in the car, I'll just put LRN.FM on, and I think the programming's awesome. It's the most professional sounding, liberty-oriented network out there, and we're giving you new content all the time in a push sense.
I love it.
Yeah, push sense of the word. You know, you may not have ever heard of the show that comes on next, but hopefully it's entertaining, and if it's not, then, you know, tune out. And then pop in later and check it out. We've got podcasts that fill in between the live shows that we're doing, and it's really well done. I've got to say, it isn't a moneymaker. It is a labor of love for my co-host Ian Freeman. Free Talk Live is the it's the show that makes the money so that we can continue to do all the other stuff. But we're in this for liberty as opposed to being in it for the money.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So tell me, Operation Greenway.
So Operation Greenway is a project to create a new nation for citizens of the world or a constitution used in the event of a revolution in America. So this actually started off where me, Ghost Liberty, or Alexander, wanted to originally buy land to start a government where I'd be able to grow all the cannabis I desired to make my living off of this grass.
Okay.
And so in Greenway was basically the birth child of how do I come up with my own micronation. And I figured the United States was really the best model to use, so I restructured and reformatted it. So for all your listeners, it's operationgreenway.wordpress.com, and we have a constitution, we have an about page, we have a Discord chat. We want as many people as possible to get involved in this project and give us feedback, because it's been mainly about 6 years of me writing this constitution in my free time.
Where are you gonna? So you got a constitution. That's pretty cool. Where are you gonna put this micronation? Is it a physical micronation?
Yeah, it's a micronation right now, yeah.
Where?
So, okay, basically it visualizes me the map of the Earth that's like a flat sheet. I'm looking at South America, and I'm going off the eastern coast of South America to a seamount. I can't remember the name of the seamount. There's a seamount. If you ever go on Google Earth, you'll see it.
Okay.
It's off the coast of Uruguay. If you go directly east off Uruguay, there'll be a seamount in the ocean, and that's where we're going to put Greenway. We're actually going to use biorock, which is electromineral accumulation, to build retaining walls, and then we're going to pour magma from the Earth's crust that we're going to drill down to get and we're going to pour that in to make these islands.
Are you familiar? Have you ever heard of the micronation of Minerva?
Yes, I have heard about that, but they were within the exclusive economic zone of Minerva, so that, or whatever the other place was. Minerva
Tonga
was within there. Oh, Conga, yeah. So Conga troops.
I don't think that's true. I think that they were outside of the exclusive economic zone, but that when they sent their an announcement. So what happened was basically they were going out to a giant sandbar and pumping up sand and creating a little island that they could all live on, and then they sent out some kind of greetings, New Zealand, Australia, Tonga, and I think it was Papua New Guinea. We're your new neighbors. And they, those four nations got together. They said to the king of Tonga, "This looks like your problem. We're going to extend your zone down here." And so they just extended their zone out and said, this is
you're part of Tonga.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you can't try the same thing and get a better result. But
I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm interested in what you're talking about. I also run a Facebook page called The Move Here Project. If you go to facebook.com and type in The Move Here Project, you can see a chronicling. I have put together all of the projects that are like this at all. Anybody who's kind of putting together any kind of, I've got a Liberty thing going on, move to this spot and we'll get involved. So I'd be interested in reporting on what you're doing. If you'll just send me something at mark@freetalklive.com. I'll get something up there. I would, however, like to suggest that I think that they're, being involved in this over some time, I think that there might be some systems that'll work better than others. Maybe I'll get in your Discord chat and talk to you guys, just because, again, reporting on all this stuff, it's darn difficult, the row that you have set out for yourself to hoe, getting people to pick up their lives and moving, and especially to a small little spit of land that you're going to make out of magma. Hopefully you won't have to, visits from the United States or, Uruguay or Great Britain or whoever decides.
I would Uruguay in the United States in the future, and that would be probably better for protection from pirates.
Yeah. The number 855. Oh, I'm sorry. Check us. Thanks so much for the call, Alexander.
Appreciate it.
Check us out, freetalklive.com.
I just have a question. So is it the one with the black arrows? With the black?
Yep.
The black. It looks like a star with arrows. Okay,
yep. That's it.
Thanks for the call, man.
Yep. It's check us out at freetalklive.com. And your projects. We're interested.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our